What's up, everyone? It's Dev, and oh yeah, I know, here it is, post-holidays. Your rhythm is broken. You probably had some momentum going, and you were like, yeah, I'm gonna start the year off right, and I'm gonna have my weight loss going, and yeah, it kind of went all off the rails. You ended up having some late night snacks that you still hit in the fridge, and you probably having some random meals that you didn't anticipate, and you didn't probably miss some of your workout sessions. And now you're just kind of wondering, man, all right, I don't want to be that typical New Year's resolution person that has it fail. I know I go through this every year. I keep beating myself up over about this. What am I going to do? Well, we are going to focus on getting a system down. It's not about a New Year's resolution. It's not about some just new goal because it's Monday. It's about developing a system. And that's what I want to do with you. So a system has a win. And there's a win condition. We're going to end up going over 3 rules that I want you to implement. These are kind of your guardrails because we're talking about cruising and getting ripped for the ship. And we're going to be doing 1 weekly check-in. Now, maybe your thing is you want to say it, I'm going to lose 8 to 12 pounds this year, maybe 1 to 2 inches off my waist, whatever it's going to be. Think about that. But what system are you going to implement in order to be able to ensure that that happens? Let me tell you about my journey last year. I went on a cruise for the very first time. I ended up dropping my weight down probably from about 202 and hitting on that cruise ship at 192.3 or 0.5, I think it was. This year is going to be a little bit more of a challenge for me. I'm already at a 195-ish after the holidays, and I'm going to try to get closer to 185. Now, my contest weight is 180. So without doing all the contest, diet, suffering, and everything else, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and still try to get close to that and have some leanness when I get on that ship. And that way, I'm going to feel better about it. Every year I get older, the better I feel when I'm able to get in really good condition. So how about you? You might be getting ready for that cruise. You know how you want to look. You know the clothes that you want to take. You know what doesn't fit good and what should fit well. So we're going to come up with 3 things I want you to do as we get ready to start this series. Like and subscribe to keep up with it, mind you. 3 things I want you to do as you get ready for this cruise cut. What's up, everybody? I'm Dev, Iron Father, where we focus on rebuilding the man and living his best life after 50, and also of Built After 50, where it's about strength, leanness, and longevity, and living the second half of your life better than the first. Like and subscribe if you want to stay updated with more videos. Number 1, the first thing I want you to do is take some anchor pictures. We're talking a cruise, so we're talking about dropping an anchor. This is you now putting a line, well, I guess we'll still say in the sand. It's a cruise. You're going to be hitting the beach. A line in the sand. You're dropping that anchor down saying, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And one of the best ways to do it, take pictures. Now, you know, C.T. Fletcher said, your mama lied to you. Your wife or your girlfriend will lie to you. Maybe even some of your boys will lie to you. But the steel doesn't lie to you. You know what he's talking about is I don't care what you think you can do. I don't care how strong people think you are. That bar lets you know real fast on really what is true and what isn't true. It's the same with that mirror. Well, actually, the mirror can lie to you. Well, the mirror doesn't really lie to you. We just lie to ourselves when we look in the mirror. So in this case, I want you to take that, even that variable out a little bit better. I want you to take pictures of yourself wearing an outfit or 2 that you know you want to fit on the cruise. Maybe you've already started seeing your excursions list. Perhaps you already know that on the ship on certain nights, what activities are going to be taking place. Maybe you're having like an all white party or whatever it is. You know what you want to look like when you put that on. Therefore, what I want you to do is put it on, take some before pictures and just go ahead and put them away. No judgment. You're the only one seeing those. But the main thing, and I always ask my clients to take these starter set of pictures because everyone is so worried about what they look like. Well, you're the only one going to see them. And then secondly, what's always funny, no one wants to see your before pictures, but do you know how good it feels to show your before pictures when you've achieved the after? I mean, that's when it's like people are like, look at what I used to look like. But normally they would not dare show those things. But now they do because they feel better, because they've gotten to where they wanted to be. They've made the journey and now they are proud of themselves. I want you to be proud of yourself. Take those pictures, one facing forward, another one off to the side, and another one to the rear, put those away, no judgment, it is what it is, and now be determined for a change. Okay, so let's go on to our real 3 rules. First rule we're going to start out with is we develop our system. You're developing your rail to keep you aboard, all right? To keep you focused on getting ready for the ship. The first one I want you to do is I want you to have a food window. If you have a lot of leftover foods, you probably have a bunch of stuff at the house that you may need to still go through. I want you now, don't let the grazing continue anymore. And even if the food is gone, sometimes we've now started some habits that we need to put away. Shout out to my man, Fat Boys. It's funny. I look at this like, man, you know, when I was younger, now, okay, Buff was big. Buff was big. I mean, he died because he was so big. But when we look at Kurowski, we look at Prince Marky D. These were people who now, when I got older, when I was 16, 17, 18, that's why they called themselves fat. However, when I got to be 35 plus, I realized, well, I'm not far from that. And most of the guys I knew, they didn't call themselves the fat boys. That was just their average look. And the reason is because we don't have a system developed. We don't have any guardrails. So even after each holiday, we lose the holiday weight, yes. I mean, we don't gain pounds after pounds after pounds just from food intake around the holiday season or our birthdays. The reason why we end up gaining weight is because it often causes us to start habits that we don't stop with. So we keep eating, or we find a new food that we want to now eat all the time. And it just now becomes one that lingers, and those extra calories end up also expanding the waistline. So we're going to stop that. We're going to have a food window. I want you to develop a food window, not because intermittent fasting may be more superior to any other form, because it's not. But maybe you need to start putting parameters on a clock of saying, maybe I'm only going to eat from 9 to 5. Maybe it's from, depending on what your work schedule is or your life schedule, from 6 in the morning to 6 p.m. Whatever it is, you may have to shut it down, because remember, what do we ask? What am I going to do an hour after I eat this meal? And if it's lay around and if it's go to sleep, then cut your food intake then so you don't end up hitting the fridge anymore. Determine to yourself, I'm not going to go to the refrigerator after bedtime. Once I say maybe 8 o'clock is my cutoff, that's it. Again, it's not about anything magical in and of itself, hormonally. But what is magical, if you will, is the fact that you are now getting to the point where you're not letting 250, 300, 400, 500 extra calories come in when you're not going to do anything with them, and you're eating just to eat. And those are oftentimes the habits that we end up developing during the holiday season. Rule number 2, we are going to set a daily walk rule. Just a simple target. Every single day, you just walk and don't talk yourself out of it. 20 minutes is a minimum. Every day, no negotiations. If you're 50 plus, it's even more important, because walking is joint friendly and it's something easy you can do for fat loss. And I want you to start doing it every day. Keep the engine running. Don't let it beat you up. Just do it. Okay? Just do it. Because if you can walk to the kitchen, you can walk outside. That simple. I'm not asking you to now get ready to run a marathon. I'm not asking you to start jogging. I'm just asking you to complete your steps, get your steps in and walk. What's the completion target? We're going to start out 7,500. If you already do about 7,500 and your weight has plateaued and you stay the same, I want you to start working that up to 10,000. Those are figures you hear often. Well, there's a reason why. I want you to get into that habit though. If you say, oh yeah, I'll walk, but you really only walk once or twice a week. Or maybe to start something, you may start off walking maybe for a few days and then you don't hardly walk the rest of the month. Well, that's not consistent, because consistency is a foundation to our system. So 7,500 steps. And if that's already something that you normally do, maybe a part of your job, but your weight loss isn't coming fast enough, maybe you've plateaued, I want you to begin working that up to 10,000. Okay, you gotta have a weekly check-in for yourself. That's going to be another requirement for your system. With this check-in, ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, did I hit my target on most days? Give yourself a score. I mean, we've all grown up in a school system in one way, shape, or form. Score yourself on 100%. And where did you land? Did you walk every day? Give yourself a score. And then ask yourself, did the scale and did your waist move? Go try that outfit on that we tried at the very beginning and see how it fit. Give yourself a score. You can actually be accountable to yourself. When I was a homeschooling dad, that's one of the things the kids did. They had to be accountable and score themselves because I wanted them to judge their effort. If you're on a job doing a work evaluation, they also ask you to self-evaluate. And you're going to do that with this as well. But give yourself some grace, especially early on. I found that the more overweight a person is, the more they often know about exercise and diet because they've tried pretty much everything. And in a way, it becomes a little bit of some shame and embarrassment for them because they are like, I know all this stuff. I've tried it all my life to maybe lose. So they can talk about it with people. And when people tell them, hey, you know, you should do, they can wax poetically about what works, doesn't work, et cetera, et cetera. But if you probably really think about it, you know, the main thing you've struggled with more than anything else is not knowledge up here. It's implementation and consistency with the rest of your body. Give yourself some grace. You're developing a system, not just to have a goal and hit that. This is just not a resolution. You're developing a system that you can now follow for the rest of your life. And that's what puts you into the group that I'm in, thankfully, of people who have lost weight and have kept it off. That can be you. So give yourself some grace, develop that system, and now getting ripped for the ship or ripped for any other event that you have coming up in your life is really just, I don't want to say a piece of cake. We'll just say it's pretty easy. Rule number 3, we're going to have to track some calories. Right there on Raven, the Stang, there is a sticker on there for when I'm supposed to get my oil changed again. And if I didn't have the sticker, we have to go like we used to do in the old days, you know, where we actually wrote it down and you wrote your mileage and you said, you know, every 3,000 miles for the old school G's or 2,500, get your oil changed. And so you did. You had to keep track of that. There's a fuel gauge in your car that you have to keep track of. If you don't, do you just wing it? Do you just fill up when you feel like it? How would that go? How would it go if you just put oil in your car when you felt like it? The same thing has to go with your macro tracking. I know you don't always feel like it. I don't care what tracker you use, from MyFitnessPal to whatever. It doesn't matter. I just want you to get into the habit of using something to tell where you're at. Look, all these little smart watches and devices that we have, I'm scared to think about it getting to this point, but all right, let's tell the truth and truly shame the devil. Until it gets to the point where it knows exactly what you put into your body and it figure out your metabolism, and it then said, all right, well, I can tell everything you've eaten automatically just going in you've consumed 1,500 calories today and blah, blah, and it broke down to this much in protein and this much in fat. We're not there yet. We are here with the steps. That gives us at least a good relative idea, but we're not there with food intake, which means, you know what? You just have to track. We're only doing this for 5 weeks. And remember, consistency is key. And if you get into the habit of putting in pretty much eating the same foods every day, once you get dialed in to wherever you're supposed to be, and contact me from coaching, and I can definitely help you narrow down that number, or maybe you will figure it out, or you just already know, maybe you have a coach, etc. Once you get that dialed in, then it's just copy and paste, and you pretty much eat the same thing every day. The most successful dieters eat the same thing every day. So meal tracking, at least for the initial stage, even if you did it just 3 to 4 days a week and maybe didn't do it the other 2 or 3, but you still have a system of, I don't have a bunch of sugar. I have my guardrails. This is when I'm going to eat and when I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to graze and have unnecessary snacks. You already ahead of the game. And so even if you don't end up tracking the rest of the days, you end up forming habits, a system, not just goals, a system that you're pretty consistent, whether you even realize it or not. Now, as we get ripped for the ship and we go through this cruise cut, I want to throw in one cruise tip for first-time cruisers like myself. Maybe you're a veteran. I'm not there yet, but some things that I just really wish I would have learned, and I'm thankful for all the people that did give me advice, like my brother, on how to get ready for cruising. But I want to help those who may be going on their first cruise, and maybe those who maybe I can give a tip that'll help you along the way. And here's one of the things. When I got to St. Martin, I had to pick up the old fanny pack. Now, I know y'all don't clown me. Don't clown me getting the fanny pack. But here's the reason why. I didn't want to take it. I didn't want to be that fanny pack guy from the doggone 80s. But you know why I had to get it? because I realized that I think this was probably the third island that we had hit. And you have your lanyard, but look, y'all, I'm from the D. And the last thing I want to do is walk around looking like a tourist, even though I'm sure I was looking like a tourist anyway. So just by the fact that I pulled out my St. Lucia hat, I'm walking around. That's why I got my hat on for the cruise, getting ready for the ship. We're going to have some hat themes too. But the reason why you look like a tourist just in general, walking around, well, you don't want to be so much of a target. And you don't want to have your pockets filled. You probably have your phone in your pocket. You may have some other items in your pocket. You buy stuff, etc. You need to still be able to keep things secure that you may be walking around with. For me, that's why I ended up buying this. So my first tip for my first time cruisers, or maybe some other guys, if you haven't thought about it, because women at least usually have a purse they can put stuff in. But us guys, well, not so much. And depending on the kind of shorts you're wearing, that may end up being a situation where you may not have pockets or have some real deep pockets for some items. So don't be ashamed to put this around. And when you wear it, you don't have to wear it on the outside of your clothes. You can wear it up underneath your clothing. And that way no one sees that you have a fanny pack on. But you know what? Sometimes, especially when you're over 50, you realize it's better to be practical than to be cool. And it's also better to be safe than to be sorry and get got. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, I want you to go ahead and consider buying one. Affiliate link below. Hey, it may help the channel as well. I appreciate it. I do have some affiliate links that will go to some fanny packs you can buy off Amazon. Again, just something real simple, whatever fits you, but guaranteed, don't be like me having to go buy one at a gift shop. And although it wasn't too expensive, generally for a lot of things I'm going to recommend, it's better for you to take with you than for you to buy somewhere else because you're going to pay a lot more. And lastly, you're going to need your passport. So this makes it even easier for you to carry this through TSA, etc. Put your passport in here, have it on your body instead of putting it all in your bags. That's just another one for when you get ready to fly, even on the plane. So I've gotten a tremendous amount of usage out of this, not just being on the cruise. So if you want to run this cruise cut with me, you're looking for some coaching and for some accountability, I want you to comment cruise cut down below or DM me cruise cut and I'll send you the details how you can sign up. I'm going to have my next video. We'll cover some of the other big traps that people fall into as they get ready to get in shape. Again, you know how you want to look. I don't know, you European guys out there probably want to bust your Speedos on a cruise. You ladies know how you want to end up looking on a cruise. Guys, or maybe my US guys, you know the type of Bermudas you want to wear. And you know you don't want that gut hanging out over that elastic band. You know what you want to do, so let's get busy doing it. That's no shame on anybody. We just talking about now putting some skin truly in the game. Let's stop talking about it. Let's be about it. Let's get ripped for the ship. DM me cruise cut, men or women, if you want to take this journey with me and you need a coach to help you get there, or just make sure you subscribe and maybe you can pick up some tips on some of the other videos that we have coming up. Until the next video, y'all, go ahead, follow those 3 rules, get ready, because now the journey truly begins as we set sail. Before you go, DM me to get a copy of my free PDF, How to Build Great Arms After 50. Also, DM me, men or women, if you're interested in getting into the best shape of your life. After 50 is vital. Time isn't waiting for us. Start today. I can't express enough how my clients were so glad that they started when they did instead of waiting until after the vacation or after the New Year's. So DM me, let's start now and get the free PDF.